Part 24. Dimensional Chosen, Only I Know Saitama is the Strongest. Author, Mungbean Garden. Chapter 231. A white light shines. The huge figure of Annalisa, the ultimate warrior of the third universe, appeared in the audience of the third universe. Boom! As if falling from the sky, everyone was squeezed by him and fled here and there. Idiot, quickly release the combined state. The god of destruction from the third universe was so anxious that he patted the body of the ultimate warrior Annalisa with his hands. A white light flashed, and Annalisa successfully disintegrated. It turned out that the previous robot was also made up of 3 players. In this way, the 10 contestants from the third universe gathered in the audience. The high priest looked at the audience of the third universe and nodded. All the players in the third universe are disqualified from the competition and will undergo a purging ceremony. Okay. The third universe, clear it? The 2 kings were jumping around like children. After seeing all the portraits of the third universe turn gray, they cheered and waited for this moment. Now the great priest announced, the 2 of them raised their hands directly. Their little fists were clenched in the air. A ray of rebellious white light shined down from the sky, hitting everyone in the third universe. A white halo began to appear on the surface of everyone's bodies. The next second, with a pop sound, everyone in the third universe disappeared directly into the crowd. In front of me. Together with the vast third universe, they disappeared together. It's our 7th universe and there are. Beerus said, turning his head to glance at Universe 11, which was far away. At this moment, the clown god of destruction in Universe 11 is also looking at himself. The big red mouth grinned with evil intentions. Cut. Beerus turned his head. The 2 were enemies before. Naturally, there isn't that much to say. There are still 9 minutes until the end of the game. The figure of the great priest floated directly above the ring, not only saying to everyone watching, but also reminding the only remaining players in the ring. At this moment, the players from the 7th universe and the 11th universe looked at each other. It was not as everyone imagined. Take action as soon as they meet and fight you to death. Or you can hide and survive until the end. Everyone stood looking at each other. The noisy wind blew by, and everyone stood so quietly. There was no life and death momentum just now. However, it was already the decisive stage. Even if everyone doesn't take action, the momentum alone is enough to make people's hearts beat. In mid-air, the high priest looked at the empty auditorium and felt something was wrong. Just like that, hey. As soon as he put his hands together, the people on the ring moved at high speed. At the same time, the huge ring began to shrink. It actually shrank to only 1/8 of its original size, just enough to accommodate everyone else. Beerus he looked at the clown god of destruction who was sitting next to him at some point with disgust in his eyes. The clown god of destruction responded with the same expression. What do the 2 Quanwang adults think? The great priest looked at the 2 people on the main seat as if he was taking credit for it. The 2 children like Quanwang were very supportive. Great. It's very lively. It's great that everyone is sitting together. On the ring, Sun Wukong and Jiren, the strongest man in Universe 11, slowly stepped forward. After a while, the 2 of them looked at each other. Drink. Sun Wukong roared and started to explode. Boom. As if on display, Sun Wukong transformed step by step from his normal state. First up is Super Saiyan. Immediately afterwards, blue arcs of electricity began to shine around him, Super Saiyan 2. The hair suddenly grows longer, the eyebrows disappear, the number of blue arcs increases simultaneously, Super Saiyan 3. Immediately afterwards, Sun Wukong's aura suddenly disappeared, his hair and pupils were dyed red, and a lava-like aura gurgled around his body. Super Saiyan God. Immediately afterwards, Sun Wukong's state changed again. The originally peaceful aura of God suddenly became explosive. Super Saiyan Blue. Sun Wukong's power is fully activated, and the blue breath goes straight into the sky. At this moment, Sun Wukong roared at the opponent in front of him. Boom! Suddenly, there was an explosion where the two were standing. Everyone jumped away and then looked into the air. Just at that moment, the explosion sounded like the beginning of gunfire, and the two of them were already in a melee. Why do you still stand up when you know that your opponent cannot be defeated and your physical strength is exhausted? Jiren kept taking action, looking at the man in front of him who fell down and stood up countless times. He really couldn't understand. It was obviously meaningless. Why could he participate happily every time? Maybe this is the Saiyan gene. Sun Wukong said with a smile, and at the same time, he quickly resisted Jiren's attack with both hands. But Jiren is Jiren after all. In the moment of chatting, he found a flaw in Sun Wukong. He punched Sun Wukong hard in the abdomen and knocked him away. Bang! Seeing Sun Wukong hit the ground heavily, Jiren folded his arms and looked at him condescendingly. Let's see if you can stand up this time. Suddenly, a figure shot out from the center of Universe 7, and a flying kick came towards Jiren. Jillian jumped away from the spot and frowned at the sudden appearance of the man. It's you? G. Lian looked at Fang Ye. I originally thought you were smarter than Sun Wukong, but I didn't expect you to be smarter than Sun Wukong. Jillian shook his head regretfully and looked at Fang Ye curiously. Are all you people in the 7th universe like this? Fang Ye looked at Jillian speechlessly. Aren't you a master? Can you pretend to be aloof? Why are you criticizing so much? The next second, Fang Ye no longer hesitated and took action directly. For the first time challenged Jiren, the strongest warrior in the 11th universe. Fang Ye is extremely fast, leaving an afterimage on the spot before quickly approaching Jiren. Then let you see the gap between us. Jiren shook his head and stood with his feet on the ground, extremely stable. At the same time, he raised his fists and launched a raindrop-like attack towards Fang Ye's approaching figure. Boom boom boom. For a moment, the afterimages of the surrounding fists instantly formed a wall. Not good. Fang Ye shouted low and folded his arms in front of his chest at the same time. Bang! Fang Ye was hit from the front, but he took protective measures with his armor and arms in time. Even though the whole person flew backwards, he did not suffer any substantial damage. Looking at Sun Wukong flying out, Jillian clenched his fists. He suddenly felt uncertain. Although, he did punch Fang Ye solidly just now. But this feeling is wonderful, just like himself it was like hitting a steel plate. It's not that the steel plate is harder than his fist. It's that the steel plate is very tough. It seemed to absorb his attack the moment it was lifted. Jiren stood upright, looking not far away. The sky was full of smoke and dust, with serious eyes. At the same time, he slowly raised his left hand, and red energy bombs appeared. Goodbye, two weirdos from Universe 7. Dimensional chosen, only I know Saitama is the strongest. Author, Mung Garden. Chapter 232. Jillian plans to deal with Fang Ye first. The energy waves in the hands continued to gather, and countless terrifying energies emitted from the hands. The lethality of this move is absolutely impressive. Beerus looked at the energy wave in Jiren's hand and swallowed hard. Goodbye. Boom. Before Jiren could finish his words, he was kicked out by a blue flash. It's Sun Wukong. The two of them were fighting in mid-air. For a time, Sun Wukong's surprise attack actually caused a back-and-forth fight with Jiren. The two fought each other with fists and kicks. Even the air was knocked out by the two of them with explosive sounds. For a while, it was hard to tell the winner. However, this was only temporary, as Jiren caught the flaw again during the fight. At the same time, he took advantage of his extremely fast speed and slammed his knee into Sun Wukong's abdomen. Boom! Sun Wukong's abdomen was hit so hard that it was deeply dented. Under the tremendous force, his body couldn't help but bend into a ball. The internal organs have been moved due to this terrifying force. The damage caused by this blow is obviously not light. Jiren seizes the opportunity, crosses his arms like a volleyball and knocks down Sun Wukong hard. A deep hole was dug into the ground again. However, at this moment, Fang Ye has recovered as before, and his whole body breaks out of the smoke at a very fast speed. The next second, he appeared in front of Jiren again. Just when he was hit before, Fang Ye clearly felt that his mental power had increased. In such a battle, his strength is also constantly improving. Facing Jillian's violent fists, Fang Ye smiled evilly. At the same time, he pushed his spirit to the extreme. Crisis sensing, rolling eyes, seeing and hearing. All means in one. At this moment, Fang Ye is in his strongest state. Next, a strange scene appeared. Facing Jiren's fist, Fang Ye's speed did not slow down and he rushed forward. Under the horrified eyes of everyone, Fang Ye's steps began to become erratic. Dodged. Klin was on the ring, and he could clearly see that Ji Lian's consecutive fists did not hit Fang Ye at all. Moreover, Fang Ye was already in front of Ji Lian in the blink of an eye. A serious punch. With a low shout, Fang Ye's fist punched out. Bang! Fang Ye's fist was like a shooting star, instantly falling on Jillian's abdomen. The terrifying force hit Jillian so hard that he couldn't react for a while, and he spit out acidic water. Go out? What? The clown god of destruction was in a cold sweat. Jiren, the invincible warrior in his eyes, was knocked away at this moment. This was different from Sun Wukong's previous sneak attack. The two of them collided for real. Jiren was also in this kind of situation. During the collision, he was hit head-on by Fang Ye. Looking at Jillian again, his face was filled with disbelief as he hit the boulder behind him. Boom! A boulder was smashed into pieces, and Jillian's feet left two deep ravines on the ground. Only then did he stand up. But Fang Ye would not give him a chance to breathe. His speed exploded again and he attacked Jillian. Universe 11, nothing more than that. Beerus stood in the audience, but everyone looked at him and cheered. Just like that, he beat Jiren down in one go. Hateful. The clown god of destruction not far away looked anxious. Why was Jiren repelled? He is a being who can defeat even himself. The more passive Jiren is, the more panicked the clown god of destruction becomes. At the same time, the battle between the two universes officially begins. The others did not watch the battle, but found an opponent to fight with. The Lightspeed player from Universe 11 is now grabbing Frisia's head and pressing it hard against the wall. Ha ha ha, wait until I wear down your strength before throwing you out of the ring. The Lightspeed warrior Tispo laughed and showed no mercy. King Frisia was pinned to the ground by him. The power enhanced by the speed of light was so terrifying that he directly pressed Frisia heavily into the ground. Then there were all kinds of swings, throwing King Frisia high into the sky. The next second, Tispo's figure appeared in mid-air and stepped on the king's abdomen. Hanging. Everyone except this word was really I can't imagine anything more appropriate. On the other side, Fang Ye once again used his weird movement skills to pass through Jillian's attack, and moved behind Jillian. Jiren turned around, and the energy wave in his hand quickly gathered and shot out behind him. Unexpectedly, Fang Ye's figure disappeared from Jillian's back almost instantly, and kicked Jillian in the abdomen again. Boom! The terrifying power erupted again, and Jiren's whole body was thrown backward. Looking at the smoke and dust in the distance, Fang Ye let out a long breath. Although Jiren was beaten by him just now and was unable to fight back, he didn't feel that he was stronger than Jiren. It's just that Jiren didn't come up with any real means just now. Just when Fang Ye was adjusting his breath, a blue figure appeared in front of him. Vegeta, you. Before Fang Ye finished speaking, he was interrupted by Vegeta waving his hand impatiently. Leave it to me next, this Jiren is nothing more than that, let's see how I teach him how to behave. After saying that, Vegeta burst out with his tyrannical momentum and shot directly at Jiren in the dust. Jiren! Vegeta rushed over and punched the unsuspecting Jiren in the abdomen. A muffled sound was heard, and Jiren looked at Vegeta with complicated eyes. Jiren, aren't you very strong? Show your true strength and fight me. Vegeta said, his whole body appeared in the sky, and the yellow energy in his hands continued to gather. The ultimate flash. This is Vegeta's strongest move. The huge energy roared towards Jiren and swallowed it up. Cut. The energy in Vegeta's hands continued to output, with disdain in his eyes. It's just that I have fought twice and lost my confidence when I fell into a disadvantage. How do you deserve the title of the strongest warrior? Vegeta said, the energy output in his hands was already at its maximum. The arena was beaten to pieces and there was no good spot. At this moment, Vegeta's expression suddenly changed. Behind him, a person appeared, the grey figure. It's Jiren. There is no trace of scars on his body at this moment, and his tone is cold. I have to say, this move does pretty good damage, but it's still a bit off. After saying that, he kicked Vegeta hard in the back and knocked him down from the sky. Before he landed, Jiren took action again. As if teleporting, the whole person appeared below Vegeta. He stretched out his left hand, grabbing Vegeta's head. Punch Vegeta hard on the abdomen with his right hand. Bang! With a muffled sound, Vegeta had no ability to resist and took the punch solidly. Following that, Jiren punched Vegeta with his left hand. Throw it around and throw Vegeta into the sky. At the same time, the right hand begins to gather energy waves. Boom! Head-on collision. Vegeta was knocked upside down and flew out. The whole person was like a kite with a broken string, approaching the edge of the ring. About to fall off the stage. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dimensional Chosen, only I know Saitama is the strongest. Author, Mungbean Garden. Chapter 233. Vegeta. Everyone in the audience watched with trepidation. If Vegeta falls like this, Universe 7's chances of winning will be even smaller. Hateful. Beerus punched the guardrail hard, and he was also nervous. I'll just say Jiren is invincible. The clown god of destruction stuck out his tongue at Beerus. At this moment, Jiren showed his true strength, and his heart that was originally hanging dropped. As for Beerus, who just mocked him, the clown god of destruction is not going to do anything. He taunted him back mercilessly. He grinned, stuck out his tongue, and made faces at Universe 7. How ugly he could be. Everyone in Universe 7 was itching to watch. They wished they could press the clown god of destruction right now. Beat me up. However, if a fight breaks out in the audience, you are not far away from being eliminated by Quan Wang. At this moment, a deafening explosion suddenly came from the ring. Boom! Everyone quickly looked over. I saw that Vegeta, who kept pushing forward, got the light and exploded. At this moment, the sky was filled with smoke, and a corner of the arena was blown to pieces. Okay, Jiren, knock down everyone in Universe 7. The clown god of destruction cheered and shouted to give Jiren 5 minutes to resolve the battle. Jiren stood motionless. He felt that he was at the edge of the ring, and the aura just now was still there vaguely. Bang! Thick smoke and dust. After being rushed away, Vegeta walked out with scars. As expected of Jiren, his strength is really good. Vegeta, the proud Saiyan prince, and Jiren, who had no solution to the tyrannical path, just said that it was a good idea. However, this also reflected Vegeta's recognition of him. Your strength is still far behind, Jillian said calmly. What? Vegeta stared and broke out in cold sweat. This guy actually said that he was not strong enough. Jiren didn't notice the changes in Vegeta's facial expressions and continued. Your fists are too conceited, that's your biggest problem. From your self-righteous way of playing, I don't even feel the pain. Dragging his dilapidated body, Vegeta slowly walked out of the deep pit. He acted very calmly in the face of Jiren's words. Humph, is that all you want to say? I am indeed very conceited, but to me, this is the pride of being a Saiyan prince. Bang! As he spoke, Vegeta mobilized the remaining energy in his body and entered the super blue state again. What? In the stands, not only Beerus, but everyone else was watching the battle between the two. At this moment, they were sweating profusely. Vegeta can actually raise his ki to such an extent. And it was just unbelievable after suffering a heavy blow. Is this Vegeta's anger? So strong. When did you practice secretly? Sun Wukong recovered and felt the terrifying aura of his fellow planet Vegeta. Even he couldn't help but smack his lips. It was really embarrassing. On the battlefield, the blue aura around Vegeta soared into the sky, and the yellow arc shone. In the stands, the clown god of destruction from Universe 11 never imagined that in just 48 minutes of fighting, the Saiyans from Universe 7 could actually make so many leaps. One Son Goku. Now another Vegeta. Universe 7 here, Piccolo felt this terrifying aura, and his face turned green with fear. He clearly realized that the reason why Vegeta changed like this was entirely because of Jiren's words just now. Jiren's words, the words completely stung Vegeta as the Prince of the Saiyans and the most talented person on planet Vegeta. Now he can only sit in the second position of 10,000 years. At this moment, it is Vegeta's battle of proof. A terrifying aura roared around him, and the energy around Vegeta broke through one level after another. Jiren, don't run away if you can. Vegeta said, the energy in his hands gathered together, and he used his strongest move. The ultimate flash. The violent energy roared in, hitting Jiren, who had no intention of dodging. In an instant, Jiren's figure was swallowed up by the terrifying energy. Here you go. Beerus cheered again. He held Krillin's head next to him and shook it until his brain was shaken evenly before letting go. Vegeta just hit him with all his strength. Above the ring, Vegeta roared. The power of the ultimate flash suddenly increased and finally dissipated. The entire ring was hit by a deep ravine, the smoke dissipated, and Jiren was crawling in the deep pit. The strongest in the universe is nothing more than that, I am the one. Before Vegeta could finish speaking, he was abruptly interrupted. Jiren, who was lying on the ground before, now appeared in front of him. The terrifying energy wave in his hand was already pressing on Vegeta's abdomen. The terrifying energy surged, and the severe pain made him unable to speak. Is this your strongest blow? Nothing more. Jiren mocked mercilessly, and at the same time, the energy in his hand exploded, turning into a huge ball of light and swallowing Vegeta. The outer edge of the energy ball bloomed with terrifying power, and the surrounding buildings were destroyed. As for the energy inside, the power is extremely terrifying without even thinking about it. The sudden appearance of this blow made everyone stunned at. After being hit so hard, can Vegeta survive? Inside the energy ball, Vegeta's face was twisted in pain. Boom! The energy ball exploded, and Vegeta was instantly enveloped in a layer of smoke. The next second, the smoke dissipated, and Vegeta's figure suddenly appeared. Bang! He fell down heavily, and his eyes began to blur. After suffering this blow, Vegeta had no ability to resist at all. Vegeta. Sun Wukong on the side saw the fellow injured like this, and rushed forward without hesitation. At this moment, Fang Ye didn't care so much, and rushed forward with Sun Wukong. The two of them cooperated in fighting for an instant, and fought with Ji Lian. But how could the two of them not be clear about Jillian's terror? Fang Ye rushed forward first, displaying all his abilities. Boom! A huge fireball shot out of Fang Ye's hand, and he shot towards him without hesitation. Jillian was swallowed up. Just when the fireball was about to hit Jillian, his figure disappeared instantly. The next second, Jillian's figure appeared behind Fang Ye, and his huge fist was wrapped with terrifying energy. Gotta smash it down. Careful! Sun Wukong roared, and kicked Jillian hard at full power in his super blue state. Jillian suddenly turned around, and the right hand that hit Fang Ye was taken back by him, and he instantly grabbed Sun Wukong's leg. He swung it 300 times in the air 60 degrees, he was knocked out with Fang Ye. Boom! There was a huge explosion when the two collided. Jillian solved the siege of the two with just one move. At the same time, others were also on the 10th. There is no benefit in the hands of a space warrior. Dimensional chosen, only I know Saitama is the strongest. Author, Mung Garden. Chapter 234. Everyone in the stands looked at the overwhelming advantage of Universe 11, and their faces showed despair. I have to say that the strength of the Space 11 warriors is really too strong. And after the entire 48-minute battle, they had barely experienced much fighting, and their physical strength was much better than everyone else in Universe 7 at the moment. This overwhelming advantage is really powerful in battle. For a moment, the people of Universe 7 were panicked. In their opinion, this battle was really difficult to win. Not only are everyone in Universe 11 very powerful, but there are also terrifying beings like Jiren. This is really a devastating blow to the 7th universe. So be it. Jiren stood on a high place and began to gather energy. The energy in his whole body began to increase exponentially. The terrifying momentum climbed straight up, making everyone feel frightened. At the same time, everyone regrouped at this moment to stop Vegeta. Behind them, they all had a hunch that Jiren's next move would be difficult to resist. Did I let you run away? Tispo smiled ferociously, and rushed towards everyone at the speed of light. His target was Frieza. Just when he violently tortured Frieza, he originally thought he had a chance to win. As Jiren exploded, Fulisa actually ran away at a speed that even he couldn't see clearly. This made Tispo feel deeply humiliated. If Frieza had been conserving his strength to fight with him, then he would be the one being played. At this moment, Tispo unleashed his strongest speed and was bound to knock Frieza out of the ring with one blow. Boom! Among the others, Frieza looked sarcastic and transformed directly into Golden Frieza. I originally wanted to leave you behind to deal with it, but I didn't expect that you couldn't wait anymore, so I'll let you do it. Golden Frieza is powerful, which he obtained after a month of training day and night. At this moment, he is at his peak again, facing Tispo. Are you kidding me? Can you keep up with my speed? Tispo smiled ferociously and punched Frieza hard. Bang! This punch that was too fast to be seen was actually caught by Frieza. You, hateful! Tispo wanted to withdraw his fist, but Frieza's palm was like an iron pincer, and Tispo couldn't move at all. If that's the case, I won't be polite. Frieza said, swinging his tail hard. Bang! Tispo was hit in the middle, but Frieza still didn't intend to let go. Bang bang bang! The thick tail kept hitting Tispo, leaving him scarred instantly. Damn it, you scum! On the high platform, Jiren watched his teammates being so abused, and fired an energy bomb with his hands. Just when King Frieza was panicking, Fang Ye even appeared. A serious punch. Fang Ye did not hesitate, his whole body was covered with armor, his fists were already in flames, he charged up all his strength and struck out with one blow. The energy bomb exploded with a sound, and then a fireball came out from the exploded energy bomb and flew towards Jillian. Go! Little trick! Jillian waved his hand and knocked away the incoming fireball. Frisia, stop playing around and finish him off quickly. Fang Ye said coldly to Frisia behind him. The longer it takes, the greater the possibility of something going wrong. I know, I know. Frisia curled his lips and threw the unconscious Dispo towards the edge of the ring behind him. During this period, his tail gave him another heavy blow, and Dispo flew out like a broken kite. Universe 11 warrior Thais fell out of the ring and was disqualified from the competition. The great priest announced in time, glanced at the arena and added Anzhihu. There are 5 people left in the 7th universe, and 1 Jiren left in the 11th universe. There are still 6 minutes left. After the great priest finished his reminder, everyone looked towards the ring. Although there are 5 people in Universe 7 at this moment, and there is only 1 Jiren left in Universe 11. But few of the audience feel that number 7 has the numerical advantage. The universe must win. After all, Jiren's terrifying strength is seen by everyone. Although he is very reluctant to admit it, it is not impossible for him to fight 1 against 5. At this moment, Jiren is standing on the high platform, looking down like an emperor, attracting everyone. Since I am the only one left in Universe 11, then, let me show you something good. Jillian said, a mocking expression appeared on his indifferent face. For a moment, everyone showed a sense of crisis. Ready? Sun Wukong shouted lowly, and everyone understood it tacitly. Drink. Jiren roared angrily, and his whole aura actually materialized. The overwhelming red energy rushed towards everyone like waves. A true indiscriminate attack. Almost half of the arena was covered. If Jiren used this move at the beginning of the game, there would probably be very few people left in the ring within a minute of starting. Considering the presence of his teammates, Jiren has kept this move until now. Everyone in the 7th universe looked at the overwhelming red energy, and everyone stood ready. Hide behind the barrier of fear. Number 17 shouted coldly, pushed his hands forward, and instantly stretched out a protective cover, covering everyone. Phew, the next second, a terrifying sea of energy hit directly, and number 17 frowned. Look. Sun Wukong seemed to see something and stretched out his finger. Everyone looked up and saw that the sea of red energy actually imitated the waves. Waves dozens of meters high were hitting everyone. With this blow, everyone will be finished, help no 17. Fang Ye analyzed it, and everyone stretched out their hands to inject energy into the barrier. Bang! When the waves hit it, a crack appeared in the energy shield. But it was not broken directly. Everyone's energy quickly repaired the energy shield. Look, it's here again. Everyone looked at the waves that hit again, and the speed of the energy output in their hands increased sharply. The energy shield was repaired in an instant, ready for the next wave. Click. When the energy wave hit it, the protective shield was broken directly. But this time the attack also it was successfully resisted, but it was just an attack from behind. Number 17 quickly put up a protective shield again to protect everyone from being eroded by the sea of energy. Final blow. On the high platform, Jillian waved his hand, and a wave that was much higher than before suddenly appeared. It hit everyone hard. Despair began to show in everyone's eyes. This wave was not like the wave before. In comparison, if this move is effective, everyone will be disabled or disabled. Quick, speed up the output. Sun Wukong commanded, but who among the people now is not using all his strength? I've reached my limit. Frisia yelled ferociously. A bunch of trash. A voice came from behind. Fang Ye took a moment to look back. Vegeta. Cut. Vegeta cut, and without further ado, transformed into Super Blue. With this prince here, if I can't resist this blow, I won't have the shame to go back. Dimensional Chosen, only I know Saitama is the strongest. Author, Mungbean Garden. Chapter 235. If I lose like this, I'm not worthy of being Gabe's master. Vegeta gritted his teeth. When he knocked Vegeta out of the ring with his own hands, he had personally promised Gabe that he would make a wish to the Dragon Balls to restore the sixth universe after victory. At this moment, facing Jiren's ultimate move, Vegeta Tachiang stood up holding onto his broken body. Drink. With a loud shout, Vegeta forced himself to turn into Super Saiyan Blue. He stretched out his hand lightly and injected his energy into the defensive shield in front of him. In an instant, the defensive cover bloomed with light blue light. And, stronger. Jiren's indiscriminate attack from outside the defensive barrier strikes again. However, no matter how powerful the energy C is, it is completely unable to shake the defensive shield formed by the concentrated energy of several people at this moment. Finally, Jiren's sea of red energy comes to an end. This horrific attack is finally over. In this way, several people finally withstood this disaster. Is this Jiren? He actually has such a terrifying killing move hidden away. Perhaps it was because he was restrained when his teammates were still there, but now he can let go and take action. No 17's eyes were solemn. Even he was a little exhausted at the moment. At the same time, he condensed several energy balls in his hands and injected them into the bodies of several people from Universe 7 who were traveling with him. This can probably help you recover some physical strength. Although my energy is temporarily not exhausted, that's all I can do. Sun Wukong and others clenched their fists, and their empty bodies finally recovered a little. Thank you, No 17. Nodding, Vegeta and others felt their reborn bodies. Just when a few people were relaxing, a powerful momentum suddenly burst out. Everyone, including everyone in the audience, was even more excited at this moment. Horrified. I saw Jiren standing at a high place. After the release just now, his energy has risen several steps. Jilin, look at Jilin, he seems to be burning up. Yes, 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 Jiren is on fire. On the main seat, King Quan looked at Jiren with a red aura steaming around him and shouted. The terrifying aura began to spread from his body, like a raging flame. Even the ring under his feet began to melt. Signs. Is this Jiren's true strength? The terrifying aura spread directly from the ring to the audience. Piccolo almost trembled when he felt the terrifying energy. This was the first time he felt such an aura of destruction. Unlike the god of destruction, who was introverted, even the whole person was like a fighting maniac at this moment, which almost made him unable to breathe. Jiren, Jiren, how much more have you hidden from us? Beerus's voice was hoarse, and his forehead was covered with cold sweat. On the ring, the 5 people were also looking at Jiren not far away. Is this the complete Jiren? The relaxation on No 17's face has long since disappeared, replaced by a solemn face. This breath is extraordinary. Could this guy be a monster? Looking at Jiren walking step by step, number 17 clenched his fists, and actually felt a little bit of withdrawal in his heart. Bang! Jiren clenched his fists, and the terrifying momentum escaped again. I didn't expect this guy to still have such hidden strength. I can feel his aura here. Kling crossed his arms in a defensive posture, and just the spread of the breath made him unable to open his eyes. Can Wukong and the others really be able to fight against such an opponent? Click, click, click. When everyone was worried, there was a sound of footsteps on the ring. Vegeta's combat boots hit the ground rhythmically, attracting everyone's attention. Now that your friends are gone, have you become serious? Vegeta. Everyone looked at him worriedly. As long as we knock this guy off the ring, we will win. His voice gradually became firmer, and his eyes were fixed on Jillian not far away. Don't be ridiculous, you are covered in wounds and there is no way you can win against me. Jillian was unmoved and told the truth calmly. Not only him, but also everyone in the 7th universe almost thought so at the moment. Don't underestimate me. Vegeta shouted angrily, and the aura around him spread directly. This time, the energy transmitted to him by number 17 was directly drained. The light blue aura enveloped him, and almost instantly turned into the most powerful spirit. Super Saiyan Blue in a strong state. But this is not over yet. Vegeta's momentum is still rising after reaching its peak. The aura around him continues to fluctuate, and the light blue begins to solidify. Boom! The surroundings, the gravel suddenly exploded, and Vegeta shouted. At this moment, he entered a new realm. I saw that the light blue aura around him had changed, turning into a richer and more textured dark blue. This guy actually broke through. Before Beerus could finish his voice, Vegeta on the ring punched Jiren directly. That stupid guy. Fanya looked at Vegeta coming forward alone, and couldn't help but curse in secret. Following him, number 17 and Sun Wukong beside him exploded. The four of them attacked Jiren from all sides and attacked Jiren. Facing the impact of the crowd, Jiren cut in disdain. At the same time, his figure flashed up, and he was fighting directly with the four of them. As for King Frieza, he had already disappeared. There was a collision between fists and feet, and Jiren was able to withstand the attacks of four people with just one person. The four of them dare not slack off, because only in this way can they defeat Jiren. However, under the siege of four people, Jiren not only did not fall behind, but even started a counterattack. Bang! You cunning guys! Jillian grabbed Vegeta's fist, and the other iron fist came to Vegeta's face without hesitation. Vegeta flew out, and Jiren's pressure was suddenly reduced. 3 punches and 2 kicks, the remaining 3 people also flew out. Jiren stood there and suddenly felt a stinging pain in his back. When he turned around, he saw red and blue flames burning blazingly behind his back. It's you. Jillian slapped a few times to extinguish the flames, staring at Fanya who was knocked back by him. So, it tastes pretty good. Fanya covered the spot where Jillian hit him hard just now, and said mockingly with his eyes. It's me who underestimated you, but it's a bit fanciful to think that you can defeat me with this little spark. Jiren said, still standing there like a god of war, raising his right hand above his head to lightly block Sun Wukong's energy bomb. If this is the case, I advise you to jump off the ring yourself to avoid suffering the physical pain. Stop talking nonsense and try my best. In the smoke and dust, Vegeta had already adjusted his condition, and golden light appeared in his hands, condensing his strongest killing move. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dimensional Chosen, only I know Saitama is the strongest. Author, Mung Garden. Chapter 236. Jiren. Seeing Vegeta who can gather energy, number 17 did not lag behind at all, and the beams in his hands condensed instantly. Boom! The two showed no mercy, and they tried their best to fire out the beams in their hands. 2 rays of light, 1 gold and 1 blue, converged on the 2 of them. Strong energy hits Jiren at the same time. 2 energy waves cross in mid-air, creating a huge explosion. Call. Vegeta took a good breath, and just as he relaxed, a red energy shot out of the smoke, which actually broke through the smoke. Facing the sudden blow, Vegeta quickly turned his head. The terrifying red energy actually cut the boulder behind him in half. This wasn't over yet. Jiren's figure quickly broke out of the smoke and kicked towards Vegeta at a speed that was almost invisible to the naked eye. Vegeta, be careful. Fanya was well prepared and knocked Vegeta away in one go. He crossed his hands in front of his chest to block Jiren's heavy blow. Even though Fanya was well prepared, he was still kicked into stone by Jiren's heavy kick. Block. Jiren's right hand began to gather energy again, intending to kill Fanya directly with this punch. Jiren, let me deal with you. A voice came. Vegeta adjusted his posture and knocked Jiren away hard. The fists gathered like raindrops and directly knocked Jiren back. Bang! Another explosion came from behind Jiren, causing Jiren to flee and couldn't help but glance back. Do you look at that again? Seizing Jiren's careless neutrality, Vegeta punched Jiren directly in the face with a heavy punch. Sun Wukong's attack followed closely, and he was ready to kill Jiren. Despicable and shameless. With a cold snort, Jiren turned around angrily and caught Sun Wukong's fist, followed by punches and kicks, and knocked him away. Vegeta wanted to take action again, but Jiren's speed reached the extreme. The figure came up behind Vegeta like a ghost, and kicked Vegeta directly in the waist. Just as he was about to give chase, several energy bombs roared from the side. Jiren quickly stopped his body, the whole person flies into space. Don't even think about running. Vegeta shot out of the air and greeted with his fist. Good boxing skills. Jiren calmly stretched out his right hand and blocked Vegeta's attack. I am worthy of those who have caused harm to me, but, that's all. With a loud shout, Jiren's right hand burst into red light. Bang! This punch hit Vegeta hard in the abdomen with unparalleled power. Vegeta felt like he was being hit by the front of a high-speed train. On top, several ribs were broken by this blow. The acid in his stomach couldn't stop rising, and he was forcibly released from the state by this blow. Vegeta flew backwards again. Just you can't take care of yourself if you get hit with just one punch. Vegeta. Fang Yi relieved the numbness in his arms, and he and Sun Wukong hit Jiren directly. At this moment, Fang Yi wrapped the armed color on important parts, and Sun Wukong also activated the 20 times Kyo fist. Trivial skills. Jillian stretched out his hands to catch the fists of the two men, raised his right leg and kicked Sun Wukong away hard. Then he punched Fang Yi in the abdomen again. Clang! The collision between the two actually caused a clash of metals. Sound. Looking at Fang Yi, who was knocked away, Jillian looked at his fist again. The punch just now seemed to have hit extremely hard steel. It actually made his arm numb. Terrifying defense. Jiren secretly admired, this defense is much stronger than in his heyday. While he was thinking, Sun Wukong rushed over again waving his fist. Bang bang bang. As expected, Jiren defeated Sun Wukong with just 3 or 2 punches. The right hand gathers light waves again, preparing to use the move that will kill Vegeta. Suddenly, Sun Wukong's figure began to become illusory and disappeared directly from where he was. Facing Jiren's attack, Sun Wukong teleported directly to No 17's position. Only then did he escape his terrifying blow. At the same time, the two of them continued to gather energy in mid-air. Another strongest blow. This time, Jiren didn't panic, and didn't even mean to avoid it. Suddenly, the crimson aura enveloped him again, and then he punched the sky heavily. Boom! The combined attacks of the two intertwined with the terrifying blue light, but was immediately penetrated by a red light. Under Jiren's full blow, the energy light was instantly penetrated and swarmed towards the two of them like returning to their nest. Sun Wukong grabbed No 17's shoulders and teleported instantly. The two appeared next to Vegeta, breathing heavily. Still want to run, Jillian subconsciously wanted to step forward, but felt himself being pulled by a hand. Jiren, let me show you something good. Jillian turned around and saw that it was Fang Yi. At this moment, Fang Yi's flaming right hand swelled incomparably, and he punched out mercilessly. Boom! A huge explosion occurred between the two of them, and the monstrous flames instantly enveloped the two of them. Wan Jai! Wan Ye, you boy! The people around them gritted their teeth and looked at the two people wrapped in flames. Even though he was several meters away, he could still feel the terrifying temperature that was about to burn everything around him. Suddenly, the flames exploded for the second time. This guy! Everyone looked at Lion worriedly, and suddenly a figure rushed out from it. It's Fang Ye. Fang Ye's arms still remain in flames. At the same time, the whole body is still covered with terrifying flames. In an instant, Fang Ye stood next to several people and looked into the distance together. There was a breakthrough just now, but Jiren shouldn't be too seriously injured. Fang Ye said softly, his eyes fixed on the flames not far away. The next second, the blazing flames exploded directly, and Jillian appeared in front of everyone. But the difference was that Jillian had already produced, the injuries were very obvious. The clothes on his body were burned to tatters, and there was a huge burning pit on the back where Fang Ye had just been hit. So that's it, thanks to you, I seem to have figured out a way to defeat Jiren. Sun Wukong smiled slightly at Fang Ye, and his eyes became excited. Oh. Sun Wukong nodded and explained. If we attack Jiren who is unprepared like we did just now, he will not be able to put up defense to protect himself. We can start from this aspect. A joint attack will expose his flaw and let him unleash a more powerful attack than before. Number 17 nodded, already understanding what Sun Wukong meant, and continued. Then it's very possible to defeat Jiren. Vegeta struggled a little when he heard this, but finally chose to explode. Dark blue flames of energy were steaming around him, and at this moment, the proud Xian Prince also let go of his reserve. As long as I can win and keep the 7th universe, I'm willing to do anything. First, Vegeta and I will attract Jiren. On the 17th, you and Fang Ye will find the right opportunity to attack. Clear. Clear. Dimensional chosen, only I know Saitama is the strongest. Author, Mungbean Garden. Chapter 237. Is the strategy meeting over? Jillian still stood there, waiting quietly. Seeing that several people had finished their discussion, they all got into fighting postures. Jiren did not hesitate at this moment, and his red arrogance ignited again. Now, it's our turn. Drink. Number 17 nodded, understanding. In an instant, he condensed an energy bomb in his hand and hit Jiren directly. Jiren had already activated his perception to the extreme. Facing the sudden energy bomb, Jiren's eyes widened, and the layer of mental energy shield wrapped him up. The energy bomb exploded. In the next second, Vegeta and Sun Wukong broke through the smoke together and attacked Jiren. Is that it? Jiren raised his arms, and the attack between the two was defeated. Just when he was about to counterattack, Vegeta used Jiren's power to roll on the ground, and kicked Jiren hard with his feet. Jiren to fly out, the two followed up again. Boom boom boom. The attacks of the two continued to explode. Jiren was so fast that his hands almost turned into phantoms, blocking the estimated coefficients of the two like a storm. The figures of the three people kept flashing and shuttled across the damaged arena. The surrounding boulders exploded inch by inch, but they were only affected by the residual power of the battle between several people. On the ground, number 17 and Fang Ye both staring at the moving three people. Fang Ye even rolled his eyes. Their movements were slowed down in Fang Ye's eyes. Right now. During the slowed down movement, Fang Ye caught Ji Lian's flaw. He shouted lowly at number 17, and at the same time, the flames in his hands shot out instantly. Number 17 did not hesitate, and formed a rhombus with his hands, a stream of blue energy spurted out. Sun Wukong and Vegeta heard the commotion underground, and tacitly dispersed to avoid it. Boom. In an instant, the two energies intertwined and enveloped Jiren in an instant. Continuous explosions occurred on Jiren, and his expression changed. No, cross your hands in front of you. The same trick doesn't work for me. With a loud shout, Jillian's body burst into red light again, and he actually directly drove away the two people's attacks. How can it be? Vegeta heard the movement behind him and couldn't help but turn his head to look. He saw that Jiren was not damaged at all by the two people's attack. Jiren released the attack and turned into a beam of light to attack the two. Not good. Number 17 had a premonition of something bad, and green protective shields appeared in his hands one after another. In just a short moment, dozens of layers were condensed. At the same time, Fang Ye waved his hand, and he injected blazing flames into each layer of defensive shields. Jiren's speed still did not slow down, and the defensive shields were shattered one after another under his hands. Click, 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 the defensive shield was shattered, and the flames were scattered. Jiren was as invincible as the god of war. Careful. Looking at the indomitable Jillian, Fang Ye suddenly felt something bad. With the small body of number 17, if Jillian was hit head-on by Jillian's blow, he would be dead or disabled. Almost in an instant, Fang Ye did what he said. Decision. With a wave of his hand, he pushed number 17 aside, and at the same time, he jumped back quickly. Bang! Jillian almost touched the two of them and fell, and the ground was instantly shattered. In the thick smoke, Jillian's whole body was like a he turned around like a loach and punched Fang Ye hard. A serious punch. Fang Ye reacted immediately, and rushed forward with his fists wrapped in armor. Boom! A huge explosion occurred between the two, and everyone who saw it was shocked. What? It turns out, got it? The clown god of destruction from Universe 11 watched Fang Ye withstand Jiren's attack head-on, and stood up in disbelief. At the same time, the faces of other gods of destruction in the stands also showed different expressions. This human being can actually confronting Jiren head-on. They have long heard of Jiren's reputation, the existence in Universe 11 that can defeat the god of destruction. A Sun Wukong has already surprised people, but they didn't expect another one to appear in Universe 7. Hateful. Vegeta and Sun Wukong saw the collision between the two and rushed over immediately. At the same time, energy bombs in their hands continued to shoot out, attacking Jiren. It's not over yet. Fang Ye endured the hand that was about to break, and his right hand instantly turned into flames. In an instant, the flames burned and engulfed Jiren in an instant. Vegeta's energy bombs also fell at this time, and all of them bombarded Jiren. Vegeta, the four of us attack together. Sun Wukong shouted coldly, and the Kaio fist was squeezed out again. The two of them attacked Jiren together. Bang! 4 people instantly appeared around Jiren, attacking like a storm. Jiren used his hands and feet at the same time, and read chi at the same time. The hood is also supported, and it still does not fall behind. Well, drink. With a loud shout, Jiren's energy exploded again. What? Vegeta's eyes were split with rage. Jiren's attack was resolved so easily by Jiren. The 4 of them flew out hard. At this moment, they had exhausted all their strength, but they didn't expect Jiren to still be the same as before. It seems like you guys have run out of gas too. In this case, it's time. Jillian murmured, and began to gather energy in his hands. He had had enough fun, and wanted to kill everyone at this time. Suddenly, a roar came from mid-air. Jillian was stunned, and turned around to see a white and purple the figure is rushing towards him at an extremely fast speed. Are you finally willing to come out? The energy in Jiren's hand was forced to dissipate, and he looked at the incoming man with fixed eyes. Roaring Frieza rushed over instantly, swinging his tail heavily. Little trick. Jiren grabbed Frieza's tail with both hands, flicked him and threw him away. Damn it, I've suffered so much from you, so I won't let you succeed like this. Frieza rushed out from the rubble, punching out like raindrops, venting his anger. Bang! Another kick, Frieza was hit hard by Jiren. Frieza was embedded in the rock, clenching his fists, he stared at Jiren. To hell with the rules, you're doomed, he should die in my hands. The golden flame steamed, instantly turning Frisia into gold. The next second Frisia turned into a golden meteor, hitting Jiren at extremely fast speeds. Facing the angry Frisia, Jiren could only use his eyes. With one glare, he blocked Frisia's attack. The next second, Jiren suddenly stepped forward with his right fist. Frisia's color suddenly changed, and he punched him so hard that he didn't even recognize him. His throat felt sweet, and a large mouthful of blood flowed from it. Spurts came out of Frisia's mouth. Then his whole body was knocked out like a kite with its string broken. Boom! Frisia, who had always been invincible, couldn't withstand a punch and was knocked out. His whole body was heavily hit. The ground was embedded in the stone, and the whole person kept twitching, losing his fighting ability. Your opponent is here. Dimensional Chosen, only I know Saitama is the strongest. Author, Mung Garden. Chapter 238. A voice came from behind, followed by a sharp pain on Jiren's back. Call. His back burned with blazing flames. Jiren turned his head disdainfully, and the mental energy shield appeared to extinguish the flames on his back. You're the only one left, what? Still want to fight to the death? I haven't lost yet, besides. Fang Ye glanced at the scattered teammates lying around and smiled faintly. I don't want Universe 7 to disappear either. Oh, Jillian looked at Fang Ye not far away, with a look of interest on his face. What would you do if you got the Super Dragon Balls? What to do? Fang Ye shook his head and smiled calmly. I don't know either, what about you, Jiren? Fang Ye threw this question to Jillian. He lowered his head and thought for less than a second, then raised his head to look at Fang Ye. I also have a wish to come true, to resurrect my people and return to the past. Jillian said calmly, but his whole body suddenly became violent. He wants to quickly solve the seventh universe and obtain the Super Dragon Balls. Bang! Facing Jillian's sudden punch, Fang Ye quickly stretched out his arms to block it. Only by defeating you can I obtain the Super Dragon Ball and return to, once upon a time. As he spoke, Jiren's fist slowly increased in strength at the same time. Fang Ye's pressure increased sharply, but he still refused to dodge, crossing his arms in front of him. Do you think you can go back to the past after getting the Super Dragon Balls? Sounds of soul questioning penetrated into Jillian's ears, and Jillian, who had always been unable to express his emotions and anger, had a rare look of sullenness on his face. Boring. Jillian grabbed Fang Ye's arm and threw it out hard. Bang! Fang Ye smashed a deep pit into the ground. Looking at the frustrated people in Universe 7, Jillian said like a god. Strength is the absolute, strength will forgive everything. As he spoke, Jiren condensed the energy ball in his hand and threw it forward. The terrifying energy was compressed and then spread, and its power was several times greater than before. In an instant, the energy spread like the previous energy sea, drowning several people. I won't let you succeed like this. A thin figure suddenly appeared and stood in front of everyone. Buzz. A green barrier blocks the front, it's number 17. Looking at the precarious barrier, Sun Wukong shouted anxiously, run quickly, even if you are the only one. Brat, only if someone survives can we win, Vegeta cursed secretly. But number 17 seemed to be unable to hear, still standing motionless, the barrier in his hand kept breaking and reorganizing. The terrifying energy began to leak, and several people looked even more anxious. Everyone, I have given up on traveling by boat. The next step is up to you. Number 17 said, turning his head and looking at the people lying on the ground. Wang Ye, although it's the first time I've met you, but it's been a pleasure fighting with you, please. After speaking, number 17 waved his right hand, and the people behind him were covered by a green barrier. At the same time, the barrier in front of him finally couldn't hold it anymore and shattered. Boom! The terrifying energy leaked in and was about to devour everyone. By now, everyone. Number 17 said lightly, and then a dazzling white light shot out of his body. When white light instantly enveloped most of the arena, swallowing up Jiren's terrifying energy with overwhelming force. Number 17. In an instant, the entire arena was gradually enveloped. Gradually, with a soft sound, the white light disappeared, along with Jiren's killing move to kill everyone. He gave up his life to protect you. What do you weak guys want to do next? Jiren said, slowly walking forward. Hateful. Vegeta stood up with difficulty. He couldn't bear the fact that someone else risked his life to save him. You kid, let me handle it. After saying that, Vegeta started to gather energy again. The sand and stones were flying, and Vegeta's hair gradually began to turn yellow, but finally fell silent. What's wrong? Don't you need to use your special transformation? Jiren looked at Vegeta mockingly, as if he was sentencing him to death. That's enough for you. Vegeta shouted angrily and stepped forward with his fist waved. But in Jiren's eyes, Vegeta's fist was no different from that of an 8-year-old child at this moment. Easily dodging Vegeta's fist, Jiren mercilessly sarcastically said. Your fists can't hurt me, so just jump down by yourself. You bastard. Vegeta was furious and punched Jiren, but his abdomen felt like a heavy blow. He looked down and saw that Jiren's fist had sunk deeply into his abdomen, creating a big hole. Damn it, I am. Vegeta still wanted to struggle, but saw Jiren punch him again. Boom. This time, Vegeta was beaten until he became unconscious. Vegeta. Sun Wukong looked anxious. If this continues, Vegeta is likely to be beaten to death. Jiren seemed to be afraid of beating Vegeta to death, and came in front of him before he could get up again. Stop struggling and get down, Jillian looked surprised. Vegeta actually hugged his leg tightly and wasted his time. What exactly is it? Even though you are not strong enough, are you still working so hard? Jiren looked at Vegeta angrily and asked in a deep voice. You're so paralyzed that you won't understand. As he said this, Vegeta actually knelt down and sat up, hugging Jiren's thigh with both hands. I'm going to order this leg of yours. Bang. Jiren swung his leg, and Vegeta fell heavily to the ground again. Strength is everything, go down. As he spoke, he kicked Vegeta hard on the waist. Vegeta was so weak that he had no hope of struggling. His whole body flew out like a kite with its strings broken. Hateful. Vegeta gritted his teeth, gathered energy in his hands and threw it at Sun Wukong. Kakarot, the rest is up to you. Vegeta, the warrior of Universe 7, fell into the ring and was disqualified from the competition. Uncle Vegeta. Seeing Vegeta appear in the audience, Son Gohan quickly picked him up and stuffed a fairy bean into his mouth. These are fairy beans. If you eat them, you'll be fine. Is this the auditorium? Vegeta opened his eyes and twisted his head with all his strength. That's right, have a good rest, Vegeta, you are already amazing. Beerus praised softly, his eyes fixed on the ring. After gaining Vegeta's energy, Son Goku stood up. You guy, I have to make you pay something. Wiping the blood from the corner of his mouth, Sun Wukong looked at Jillian with cold eyes. Why do you still stand up when you are obviously not as strong as me? Jillian looked at Sun Wukong with a puzzled expression and frowned. Vegeta said, you won't understand, this is between partners, trust. Trust. Jillian hesitated, then reacted instantly and suddenly exploded. Power is everything. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dimensional Chosen, only I know Saitama is the strongest. Author, Mungbean Garden. Chapter 239. When Jillian was young, he was harmed by an adulterer. A friend he once trusted betrayed him, causing Jillian's biological parents to die in front of him. After that, Jillian was rescued by a traveling monk and continued to practice every day. Finally, he and his brothers faced the evildoers. But in the end, all the brothers were killed, and the master also died in front of him. After that, Jiren embarked on the road of becoming stronger alone. If you become stronger, you will be invincible. If you become stronger, you will not be disappointed. As long as you win, your teammates will automatically come to you. For him, the existence of partners is dispensable. This is why Jiren has always wanted to become stronger. On the stands, the clown god of destruction spoke seriously, telling Jiren's past. Not only the people from the 11th universe, but also the 7th universe and the 4 other universes that did not participate, listened to the clown god of destruction and fell silent. Unexpectedly, Jillian, who seems to be strong, has such an unknown and tragic past. On the battlefield, Jiren's expression remained unchanged as he faced Sun Wukong, who was already super blue. Although his physical strength has been greatly reduced at this moment, he is still very confident in dealing with the Sun Wukong. Trust is just the talk of the week. Only strength is everything. Feel sorry for your lack of strength. Jillian roared angrily. I don't know since when, his emotions began to be out of control. The energy poured out from his hands. It rolled towards Sun Wukong with a monstrous force. Drink. With a loud shout, Sun Wukong quickly charged up the turtle-style Qigong and opened a passage in Jillian's attack. Bang! With a kick of both feet, the already damaged ground was deformed under this kick. Sun Wukong was in. He quickly passed through the narrow passage and punched Jillian hard. As expected, Jillian caught the blow again. The two began a tense hand-to-hand fight. Countless battles have pushed Sun Wukong to his limit. Squeeze again. At this moment, the brief hand-to-hand fight with Jiren was still successful. The fists and palms exchanged, and the terrifying residual power escaped from the collision between the two. The surrounding boulders exploded, stirring up smoke and dust in the sky. Sun Wukong, is it this ridiculous trust that supports you to fight bravely no matter what kind of enemy you face? Jillian's words contained a hint of sarcasm, and his fierce fist quickly grabbed a gap in Sun Wukong's intensive attack and punched it out. By the time Sun Wukong realized it, Jillian's fist was already coming. He could only watch helplessly. A punch hit him. Bang! He received a heavy punch in the abdomen. The place where he was hit was deeply dented, as if he had been hit by a giant hammer. The ribs were almost broken at this moment, and Sun Wukong could clearly feel his internal organs. They were all squeezed together, and the excruciating pain spread all over the body. Puff! Vomiting a mouthful of blood, Sun Wukong's body rolled out like a tattered bag. The ground is covered with shocking bloodstains. Wukong! On the stands, everyone couldn't help shouting when they saw the tragic situation of Sun Wukong. Even Beerus, who had always longed for victory, was silent with his fists tightly clenched at this moment. That's for sure if you don't want to lose. If you lose, you will suffer. Once King Quan is eliminated, not only him, but the entire 7th universe will cease to exist. But at this moment, no matter how you look at the situation, it is impossible for Sun Wukong to win. Jiren is like a monster, no matter what kind of battle the method caused trouble to him. Not to mention the injured Sun Wukong, Fangye who was hit hard and fell into a coma, or Frisia who ran to who knows where. Even if the three of them returned to their peak state at this moment, they would not be enough for Jiren to fight. Of Ken, hateful. Among the gravel, Sun Wukong stood up with force, blood flowing out of the corner of his mouth. He looked extremely embarrassed. Oh? Can you still stand up? Jillian raised his eyebrows and flew out quickly, arriving in front of Sun Wukong in an instant. Bang! A punch hit Sun Wukong hard in the face, and blood immediately flowed out. But no matter how heavy Jillian's fist was, Sun Wukong still kept standing. "Then I'll beat you down," Jillian said softly, but the fist in his hand was unrestrained. Bang bang bang. Jiren attacked continuously, and his fists hit Sun Wukong like raindrops. Facing the sudden attack, Sun Wukong couldn't lift it up at all. "Use all your strength to defend, pour all your strength into your legs, barely maintaining a standing posture." "Sun Wukong!" Clint shouted anxiously. He was on the bleachers and wanted to fly down to help Sun Wukong. Even in front of Jillian, he was no different from a 3-year-old child. Everyone saw it and gritted their teeth. Damn it, if this continues, Gaku will really be knocked out of the ring by Jiren. Big clenched his fists tightly, sweat dripping from his forehead. Could it be that all this hard work has been in vain? Everyone was unwilling to accept it, but looking at Sun Wukong's figure like a human sandbag, they felt even more distressed. "Sun Wukong, you are a respectable opponent, but I want to win." Jillian looked at Sun Wukong, who had been beaten to the edge of the ring, and his eyes began to show a little admiration. But the life and death of the universe is in his own hands, and this little emotion is nothing at all. "I have thrown away things like feelings a long time ago," Jillian shouted, and then punched out suddenly after charging up his right fist. If this punch falls, even if Sun Wukong wakes up at this moment, he will be punched out. He punched out confidently, but then a scene that shocked him appeared. Jiren only saw his fist punching out violently, but at the moment when it was about to contact Sun Wukong's body, it actually passed through it. There was no feeling of the fist punching through flesh and blood, but an unreal feeling of nothingness. This is. Above the stands, several gods of destruction felt the faint pressure coming from the ring, and a name that frightened them gradually emerged from their hearts. The ultimate freedom of mind. "Phew," a voice came, and at some point Sun Wukong appeared a few feet away from Jillian. And on his body, that mysterious silver-gray light appeared again. Moreover, the silvery gray color became more and more intense, and it even enveloped his entire body. Selfless state. Above the stands, Beerus looked at Sun Wukong, who was quietly changing. His clenched fists loosened and they collided hard again. "The perfect state of the ultimate self-consciousness skill really makes me tired of waiting. Sun Wukong, you have to behave well next." Beerus looked at Sun Wukong, who was already in a new state on the ring, with an unconcealable smile on his face. "Oh, Wukong has transformed again, in a new state." Above the main seat, the two kings watched Sun Wukong enter a new state at this moment, shouting excitedly. "What does it seem to be called? Zig Gong, what a cool name." Yes, what a cool free-spirited skill, ha ha ha." Dimensional chosen, only I know Saitama is the strongest. Author, Mung Garden. Chapter 240. I didn't expect to see you again at this last moment. It's really not easy. Watching Sun Wukong enter a new state again, Weiss nervously showed a familiar smile. "Sun Wukong, you really make us fearful. Kakarot, you idiot, if you still lose like this, just wait until I teach you a lesson." Everyone's emotions exploded without reservation at this moment, and they roared towards the ring. "Come on, Sun Wukong." On the ring, Jillian faced Sun Wukong, who had become unpredictable again, with shocked eyes. But soon, he calmed down and punched Sun Wukong several times in a tentative manner. The figure fluttered slightly, and Jiren's fist didn't even touch the corner of Sun Wukong's clothes. The left fist was raised without warning and punched out quickly. Bang! Jiren was caught off guard by this sudden blow. From this moment on, Sun Wukong's fist instilled everyone's faith, becoming more powerful than ever before. Just one punch was too much for Jiren to accept. Vomiting acid at the mouth, eyeballs bulging. After retreating in a hurry, Jiren's eyes began to become solemn. If Sun Wukong's strength is really compared at this moment, he is definitely not inferior to him. Watch me make you fall down willingly. Jillian's momentum exploded, and the arena under his feet melted instantly. Let me see your strength. Jillian roared and stepped forward again, charging with his fist with unparalleled momentum. Sun Wukong turned sideways slightly, and at the same time stepped forward with his right hand to hold the fist in his hand. Then he attacked mercilessly. Bang bang bang. 2 times. People began to collide again, and a terrifying aura erupted from between the two. Jiren seized the opportunity and quickly gathered energy in his hands. Get down here. Boom. The violent energy swallowed up Sun Wukong in an instant. But the next second, Sun Wukong's figure appeared at a high place. Stab, tearing off the tattered combat uniform on his upper body, Sun Wukong looked at Jiren with cold eyes. Boom. Moved out again, the momentum caused by the flash of his body made the boulders fly. Jiren looked at Sun Wukong's frightened speed, and suddenly there was a sting on his face. The storm caused by just the speed was scratched his face. How fast is the ultimate freedom of movement? Everyone was amazed. In the eyes of the clown god of destruction, this was a sign of contempt for their 11th universe. What's so great about the self-extreme intention gong? No matter what, Jiren will never lose. Above the ring, Jillian turned a deaf ear to everyone's comments. His eyes were fixed on Sun Wukong. Suddenly, Jillian took the initiative to attack. Don't think that you are pretentious just because you have some strength. Bang. The ground was shattered by Jiren's kick, and his strength exploded. His fists had exceeded the speed of light at this moment, and even Tispo couldn't see clearly the battle between the two. Facing Jiren's approach, Sun Wukong fought and retreated. The two kept a safe distance at all times. The next second, the two were fighting together again. Seizing the opportunity, Jiren's fists were faster. But Sun Wukong was even more so at this moment. It was a completely unconscious fight. Sun Wukong was only a conscious reaction of his body. He blocked all of Jiren's attacks. The two of them suddenly exchanged punches. Apparently Sun Wukong was faster and used his strength to kick Jiren on the shoulder. With the help of Sun Wukong's power, Jiren flew high into the sky, and his hands quickly condensed into red, colorful energy bullet. In an instant, the energy bullet expanded rapidly and fell towards Sun Wukong. Slowly raising his left hand, a short burst of blue energy shot out from Wukong's palm. The inch-long energy actually stabbed Jiren's energy bullet directly go through. A terrifying explosion exploded a few feet away around Sun Wukong, blowing the surrounding boulders into pieces. Was it actually offset by you? Jillian's figure slowly landed on the ground, and he glanced at the flames filled with sacred aura around him. It was the same as the sacred aura on Sun Wukong. After being stunned for a moment, Jiren adjusted his condition and shot again. The two fists and feet collided, and again fighting. Jillian stretched out his hand and jammed Sun Wukong's shoulder blade. The latter suddenly kicked out, hard on Jillian's waist. Jillian turned around to release his strength, and punched Sun Wukong again. He turned slightly sideways after escaping. Sun Wukong punched Jiren's fist at the same position, and the energy bomb in his right hand suddenly appeared. Jillian quickly exploded and used his momentum to blow away the energy bomb in Sun Wukong's hand. At the same time, the mental energy attack was triggered, turning into countless the phantom attack Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong retaliated with tooth, and his momentum turned into countless phantoms to resist Jiren's attack. There was a flaw. Sun Wukong found a gap in Jiren's violent attack, and slammed his left knee into Jiren's abdomen. Taking advantage of the victory, he hit the chin with a left hook, followed by a high leg kick that sent Jiren flying hard. Damn it, is it already so fast? Jillian rolled continuously in the air, and then stabilized his body. This can't go on like this. Countless energy bombs shot out from Jiren's hands and poured towards Sun Wukong. The figures flashed in succession, perfectly dodging Jiren's heavy attacks. Then, with a super long vertical jump, Sun Wukong's body quickly rotated in mid-air and landed. An explosion sounded behind him, and Sun Wukong rioted, and he quickly stepped forward. Jiren waved his big hand, and the red energy formed a barrier in front of his body, and countless attacks were squeezed out from the barrier. His figure fluttered, and Sun Wukong relaxed. He dodged all the attacks and quickly approached Jiren. 1 gram. Facing Sun Wukong's fist, Jiren did not dare to raise his fist at this moment, and crossed his hands to defend. Then came the attack like a storm. Jillian frowned, wrinkling and dodging continuously. At this moment, he has fallen into pure passivity. Sun Wukong's figure flashed again, and in an instant he appeared behind Jillian and punched him. Jillian's whole body began to deform, and he was knocked away, far away. He smashed several boulders into pieces with his face, and his whole body exploded with momentum, rushing away the rubble around him. Impossible, I can't lose. Jillian waved his hand, panting heavily, and looked at Sun Wukong. I won't lose. If I can't win, I'll lose everything. If I lose, just nothing. Jiren's eyes dimmed at first, but the next second they started to burn. I don't want to be treated like that again. Horrifying crimson flames burst out from Jiren's body, instantly attacking the entire Wu realm. The storm of breath is so fierce. Even the people in the stands began to resist, and the entire Wushija was dyed blood red in an instant. Jiren slowly walked out of the flames, with 2 auras, one red and one blue, and the two looked at each other. Jiren's eyes were extremely fierce, but Sun Wukong's eyes were very calm, even a little cold. The two of them just looked at each other, and their breaths gradually began to collide. A new round of collision begins again.